The pot that cooks. In a village, there lived a poor widow and her daughter. They resided in an old cottage with a tattered thatched roof and kept several chickens in the attic. During the winter, the widow went to the forest for firewood, in the summer for strawberries, and in the autumn to collect whatever she could find in the fields. The daughter would take the eggs from the chickens to the town to sell, providing them with the means of survival. One summer, the widow became quite ill, leaving her daughter to go into the forest to gather strawberries for food. She brought along a pot and a piece of dark bread for her meal. When the pot was filled with strawberries, she came across a spring in the forest, where she decided to sit, take out her bread, and eat her lunch. It was exactly noon. Suddenly, an old woman appeared seemingly out of nowhere, appearing quite destitute and carrying a pot. "Oh, my dear," the old woman said, "I'm so hungry. Since yesterday morning, I haven't had a bite to eat. Could you spare a piece of that bread?" "Well, of course," replied the girl. "I'll give you some or even the whole piece if you want. I'll just go home afterward. Only, I hope your teeth are not too strong." She then handed her entire lunch to the old woman. "Thank you so much, my dear," said the old woman. "May you be blessed. But since you've been so kind, I'll give you something in return. Here, take this pot. When you put it on the table at home and say, 'Pot, cook,' it will make as much porridge as you wish. And when you think you've had enough, just say, 'Pot, stop,' and it will stop cooking. Just don't forget these words." With that, she gave her the pot and disappeared as mysteriously as she had come. When the girl returned home, she told her mother about her encounter in the forest and placed the pot on the table. She then said, "Pot, cook." She wanted to check if the old woman had tricked her. Instantly, the pot started cooking porridge, and it kept filling up the pot. When she thought it was enough, she said, "Pot, stop." The pot stopped immediately. The two of them sat down to enjoy their delicious meal, as the porridge was as tasty as it was plentiful. When they were satisfied, the daughter collected some eggs and went to the town to sell them. However, she had to sit in the market for a long time, and she only sold them in the evening. Back at home, her mother couldn't wait to eat and had a hankering for porridge. So, she took the pot, put it on the table, and said, "Pot, cook." She was eager to see if it would work for her as well. But when the porridge started cooking, it wouldn't stop. The pot was quickly filled up. "I should fetch a bowl and a spoon," thought the widow, and she went to the pantry. However, when she returned to the kitchen, she was horrified. The porridge was overflowing from the pot, covering the table, then spilling onto the bench, and eventually flooding the floor. In a state of panic, the widow threw a plate onto the pot to stop it. But the plate broke, and the porridge continued to flow like a river. Now, the entire room was filled with porridge, and the widow was drowning in it. She forgot the magic words to stop the pot. In her desperation, she climbed up to the attic, wailing and regretting her daughter's good fortune. Meanwhile, the porridge was pouring out the door and window into the village and the road, creating a massive mess. However, the daughter returned just in time, and with a loud voice, she yelled, "Pot, stop." The porridge came to a halt. The streets in the village were filled with a pile of porridge, and the villagers, when returning from work in the evening, were unable to pass through it.